Oh, here's your Backstage pass.
Quiet on the set.
Action!
Welcome to Sedona's Backstage Pass with Shondra, presented by the Doll Group. This is your inside look into culture, curators, and creative artists. And now, your host, Shondra.
Welcome, VIPs. You've got your Backstage Pass, and you are in. Get ready for some more behind-the-scenes stories that you'd never hear about unless you tuned in here on Mellow Mountain Radio. All right, got to do that. And remember, you can hit that live at 106.5 on Mellow Mountain Radio, that's FM, or 780 AM. And, of course, you can stream these shows. They're all here on mellowmountainradio.com and later Apple Podcasts. So that's fun. And make sure you're here on Saturdays like you are right now at 10 a.m. Do I have a show for you? But before we start, I'm going to tell you about some things that are going on this week, starting today. So after you hear this podcast, make sure you get to the Sedona Heritage Museum, which is located on Jordan Road in Uptown Sedona, because at 1:30, my buddy, my cohort, I've been on stages with him for, lots of shows, and I love this guy, and so are you. You're going to love him. If you don't know him already, storyteller Michael, quote, Coyote Peach. He actually goes by Michael Peach, but, that's what he goes by when he's storytelling. He's going to return to the Sedona Heritage Museum today at 1:30 with a new program. It's called Oops. It's a series of tongue-in-cheek stories about misadventures from Arizona's past and present. And he's featuring 3 new story poems and the return of a few classics. And he is so much fun. You are going to love him. You'll find him in the Apple Shed there at the Sedona Heritage Museum today at 1:30. Now, on August 3rd and 4th, and you are going to love this, Patrick Key, who is later going to be on my show, another show coming up. You're in for a treat with that because he's phenomenal. He's a great guitarist and ukuleleist. He is going to be with a group of friends called Gaetano and Friends, and they play on August 3rd and 4th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. on the beautiful outside patio of El Rincon Restaurant, which is located at Tlaquepaque. For those of you who don't know, Tlaquepaque is on 179. It's a phenomenal place where you can go to restaurants and galleries and really shishi boutiques. You're going to love it there. A lot of outdoor areas. And again, August 3rd and 4th, 5:30 to 7:30, right there on the patio of El Rincon Restaurant Mexicano, you will hear flamenco music in the courtyard. Gaetano and Friends. Fantastic. Then, on Thursday, August 7th, this is really something. For those of you who like to hike, you're going to have an opportunity to do that in a moonlight setting. That's right. On August 7th, the Arizona State Parks and Trails are hosting a moonlight hike. And this is really rare, you guys. This is an opportunity to enjoy the sunset and the moonrise from a trail overlook and return by the light of the moon while learning all about the natural world of Sedona, of all the Sedona area in that area. And the program lasts about 2.5 hours, and it covers a distance between 2.5 miles. And to register, it's only $20 per person, and it is required. So make sure that you visit, and I'm going to kind of spell this out to you. It's SCI, so it's Sci Tech, TECH, Institute.org, and you can find tickets and information there. Well, there's some things to do. And of course, you can always Google, you'll find all kinds of wonderful event calendars and whatnot when you Google what's going on in Sedona this week. Okay, I'm excited to have one of my sponsors here with me today. And he always has great stories. He is the executive director of the Sedona Heritage Museum. I'd like to welcome Nate Meyers. Great to have you back here, Nate.
Thanks for having me back.
I always enjoy your stories.
It's fun to be here.
It's so much fun to have you here. And we're going to talk about movies today.
Okay.
Movies in Sedona.
Yeah.
My
Long
goodness.
history of that.
Huge history. Mm-hmm. We even have some movie stars who have lived here. We're not going to tell you where they live or where they did live, but they did live here and worked here. And matter of fact, my understanding is there were a lot of people employed here when those movies came.
Yeah, the movie industry was huge. Not just the movies being made and the stars coming to Sedona, but it was a big part of the local economy because a lot of people got roles, mostly extras roles, that kind of thing, but or behind the scenes stuff, or restaurants providing food or lodging.
The laundry of the costumes.
Laundry, doing all that stuff. People, renting out their property or renting out their equipment or their horses even for the Westerns. So
and security. Mm-hmm. My understanding is people were watching the set. Not that anybody would have done anything here in Sedona at that time. How many people were here at that time?
Not many.
Like, what would you say? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. There's an anecdote about the movie Drumbeat, which maybe is a nice segue into talking about some movies. But there's an anecdote about the movie Drumbeat, which was filmed here in Sedona in '54. That at one point for one of the scenes, there were 600 people from town who came out to watch him filming one of these scenes.
Wow.
And if that wasn't the entire town, it had to be pretty close.
I was going to say 600 people in 1954.
Yep.
And there are no street lights at that time.
Oh, heck no.
Nothing like that.
No.
And are there stores at that time? I mean, what was here in 1954?
1954, yeah, there were some stores. There were some dry goods stores. There were some service centers for folks to gas up. And you're talking, the tourist industry is really starting to crank up. So you're talking about some of the roadside hotels and motels springing up. So
what's the oldest hotel? Do you know?
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
You don't know?
You got me stumped.
See?
You stumped the historian.
It's amazing. I mean, I feel honored that I did that. I need a ribbon. Okay, now let's talk about this movie Drumbeat. You just showed Drumbeat.
Yeah.
Like this last Saturday.
Yeah, Drumbeat's a good one to talk about the movie industry here. We did just screen it at Mary D. Fisher Theater over at Sedona International Film Festival, and they're great partners. Great to work with. We do this every year on National Day of the Cowboy, which is, I think it's the fourth Saturday in July every year.
Right.
And so it's a great opportunity to break out some of these old Westerns and screen them. Since I've been here, we've done Drumbeat this year. Last year we did a really kind of cool, kind of noir Western called Blood on the Moon, which starred Robert Mitchum. That was a good one. And then 2 years ago, we did we did Stay Away Joe, starring Elvis Presley, and
which was just the best movie ever on the planet.
The best film ever made, easily,
ever.
Yeah.
Rotten
Citizens
Tomato
Kane had
kind
nothing on it. Yeah,
it was like people were throwing tomatoes. Not really,
such
but
a bad movie.
Laughing.
I mean, yeah, the whole reason to screen that one is to laugh at Elvis Presley being in just such a terrible movie,
and he was in agony.
Yeah, he had to have been.
Can you
He wouldn't
imagine?
He wouldn't let him release a single that he recorded for that one. It was so bad. He was so embarrassed by it.
I guess so glad I've never done anything quite like that.
Yeah, I mean the single that he wouldn't let him release was like he was serenading a bull that wouldn't perform and trying to get the bull to perform. And I mean, just picture Elvis. It's just
No, it's scary.
No, it is
It's scary bad. It's like this is something you don't want to watch.
No, so
but you
Drumbeat.
can't. You got to watch it though because you know.
Oh, it's a train wreck. Yeah. Yeah, it's a dumpster fire, train wreck, whatever you want to use, whatever metaphor. But
so now
Drumbeat's a much better film.
Okay.
Drumbeat's a much better movie. Again, a Western at the height of the Western genre, starring Alan Ladd. And it's one of those things where Sedona, in a lot of these films, stands in for someplace else.
Where was it? Where was it supposed to be?
In this place, it was supposed to be taking place in Oregon.
In Oregon?
Yeah, so Sedona stood in for Oregon, and it was...
This is weird. I mean, are there red rocks in Oregon?
I haven't been to that area of Oregon, so I do not know. But it's the area of Oregon that was in the 1870s being fought over between the United States government and the army and settlers fighting with the Modoc tribe that they didn't want to give up their land that they'd hunted on for generations, lived on for generations, and so the movie tells that story.
Yeah, that's a very serious story. Mm-hmm. We have all those stories here, Arizona and Sedona, of course, and Oak Creek Canyon.
I mean it parallels our
sure
history with the Yavapai Apache.
Yeah,
at about the same time. Yeah.
So, a question: are there red rocks in Oregon? I mean, do we even know that? But they were in the movie.
But they were in the movie.
Wow. So can you imagine someone goes to Oregon thinking, I'm going to go to Oregon. And they're very disappointing.
There was that red rock shaped like a coffee pot, and I'm not seeing that anywhere in Oregon.
I love it. Oh, my gosh. Oh, that's good. That's really good. Yeah. So now, were there any actual Native Americans in this film? Because we're talking about the 1950s.
Yeah, a lot of the extras were actually members of the Apache Nation.
That's good to know.
Which was good to know. The leads were not. They were white actors who, no other way to say it, were dressed in red face.
Wow.
To make them look like Native Americans.
That's something.
Of the Modoc tribe, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Including an actor who folks might know by the stage name he ended up taking, but in this film, he was known as Charles Baczynski. And then soon after this film came out, when he started to become a star, he changed his last name to Bronson.
Yes,
Charles Bronson
with a bronze face.
Yes.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where they came from. I don't know. But, those were the days when you could kind of get away with that. That was kind of the thing to do. I mean, people just didn't know Native American actors existed, maybe. I don't know.
No, there's another film shot about that same time where they asked extras to come from the Apache Nation and said, come dressed as Indians. And so they showed up wearing jeans and T-shirts because that's how they dress.
Geez.
And, of course, the studio was like, no, we meant like headdresses.
I mean, can you imagine somebody asking them to do that?
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
Ay. I'll tell you, the things that happen. So now tell me a little bit about what is in this movie. Because now when you hear this, you guys, you're listening to this, you're going to want to go and see Drumbeat. You'll find it on probably Netflix, or maybe you find it somewhere else on another streaming channel because it's out there.
Yep.
And Charles Bronson, Ellen Ladd, and good actors, really good actors. I hope that some of you know who they are. I am old enough to know. So tell us now, the Homestead House is in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of really incredible views of Sedona's Red Rocks in this movie, and they're shot at a lot of places that people are going to recognize, and they're going to see landmarks they're used to. You're going to see Cathedral Rock, you're going to see Bell Rock, you're going to see Coffee Pot, among others. And one of the locations that they shot the film at was the Shoreman Homestead House down off of the Upper Loop Road, which the museum owns today and is on the National Register.
Incredible. Yes, I know we're doing some things with that property, aren't we?
We're working on it. We're planning the long-term, making a long-term plan for that property. What are we going to do? What stories are we going to interpret? How are we going to tell them? How's it going to be funded? What kind of events and activities can we do out there? So nothing to report on that yet, but we've got a group working on that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how that develops. And for those of you who don't know, the Shoremans had the very first wine in the Verde Valley, actually in the state of Arizona, from my understanding. Very first, and they are the ones that started the wine business here, which is huge now. Huge. So, and actually, there is a vine from there's a grapevine, right?
There's a heritage grapevine on the site. Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And then, of course, who is it? Tell us. Who is it that has developed wine from that?
Yeah, over the last 20 years, Page Spring Cellars has been working hard to resuscitate the original Shoreman Zinfandel stock. And so they've got, last I knew, they had about 500 vines or 500 cuttings that they had going, and they were trying to propagate into vines.
Wow.
The goal of getting to 1,000 to be able to, make the original Shoreman Zinfandel that they were making 140 years ago now.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Now, we did a fundraiser a little while ago, and we had a bottle of that.
Yeah, it was before I got here, so you were there. I wasn't.
Okay, I do. I remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think it was 4 years ago.
Yeah, my husband played Shoreman.
Yeah, 3 years ago, 4 years
himself.
ago. The Page Spring Cellars was able to harvest enough grapes from that original Zinfandel stock to create, I think, 30 bottles of
Wow.
Shorman's Infidel and that was the first time Shorman's Infidel had been made since Prohibition, since 1917, and that was 2022, I think.
Amazing. So
105 years.
For those of you who are planning to come in, like maybe you might be listening to this and you're planning a trip into Sedona, you have to stop at the Sedona Heritage Museum. There is an exhibit about the wine industry and all that happened with the Shormans. And of course, you can go visit the homestead. You can't go into the house, but you can go to the property. And are there any, I just want to know, are there any kind of exhibits or signs or anything?
We've got a sign there just kind of explaining what it is right now. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So getting back to Drumbeat, this was 71 years ago.
Yeah, 1954.
Oh my gosh. So was the house packed because they just wanted to see what Sedona looked like 71 years ago?
Yeah, we had a good turnout. And definitely, my wife hasn't come to those movies in the past, but she came to this one because she heard me talking about all the amazing Sedona scenery in it. And she's like, I want to see what Sedona looked like before all the houses and before all the stores and restaurants and everything. And it really is pretty amazing to see, just broad swaths of land without houses, without buildings on it.
Did you recognize any of it?
You'll recognize it from the rock formations.
I was going to say that's the only
Otherwise,
way.
it's tough.
How could you?
There aren't landmarks necessarily other than the rocks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it is fun. Like if you know the area, it is fun to watch that movie and others. But that one especially because the Red Rocks play such a prominent role in this movie. It is really fun to sit there and try to picture exactly where they filmed various scenes, and it's
crazy.
You'll be
cool.
shocked where they got cameras in 54 when you really stop to think about it, because there's so that film, the homestead site, okay, that was an active ranch. Slide Rock plays an important role in it.
What were they doing at Slide Rock?
They actually had, it's the climax of the movie. Climax is, I don't want to give too much away, but it climaxes in a fight between the characters played by Alan Ladd and Charles Bronson. They're in a fight to the death in the creek, and they end up rolling around in the creek and falling down, and they get swept down Slide Rock.
Oh my gosh. The very Slide Rock that everybody likes to go in the summer, which now is probably packed.
Yeah. Well,
at the moment.
and to that point, when they filmed Drumbeat here, it was June of 54, and it was over 100 degrees every day that they were here filming. And so one of the anecdotes from the film is if the talent wasn't on screen, like on camera, acting in the scene, they were behind the camera taking off their costumes and getting down into as little clothing as possible.
Naked.
It was just so darn hot.
Yeah.
And they just weren't used to it.
For those of you who don't know, June seems to be the real hot month here. I don't know what that's about. July, it can be debatable because we have monsoons, so it kind of cools off everything. But June is a knockout.
June's hot. Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
All the record heat always seems to fall in June.
I can't even imagine. I mean, Dev Ross and I just finished our movie of 10 days. And I kept saying to her, can you imagine doing this for 3 months or a month and a half and heat? Or maybe really cold weather and you're outside. We weren't outside, but my gosh, it is an intense situation. So here we are. So the Homestead House, where else? Where else would we recognize?
Slide Rock.
Coffee Pot?
You'll recognize Coffee Pot because they used the Western movie set that was built, the Western Town movie set that was built right below Coffee Pot in 46, 47. It was built for John Wayne's Angel and the Bad Man when he came to town to film that. And then after it was built, they just kept using it. And so it features It features in Angel and the Bad Man, Drumbeat, several others.
They had to have made it look different. I mean, can you imagine?
Yeah,
you're really
maybe
a fan?
they changed like the signs and that kind of stuff, but I mean, the street layout was the same, and
oh my
and
gosh,
like it just the street kind of goes a little bit west and north and east to south with Coffee Pot right there.
What did they do with the set? Do you know?
The set ultimately was demolished. When Westerns kind of faded in popularity and everything, and as Sedona was growing, fell into disrepair, and so most of it was demolished. I've heard of some houses that some of the wood was reused in that are scattered around town. There's a handful of
very cool
houses around town that may still have some of that wood from that movie set. The only surviving building from that movie set is the telegraph office, which
we have
at the museum.
We've got
exactly.
It.
Yeah, it was, and we call it the telegraph office because in Angel and the Bad Man, when it made its film debut, it was the telegraph office. John Wayne stumbles through the door to send a telegram at the counter there. So
that's so good.
Yeah, and that had quite the journey where it was moved from the movie set down to a property on the Upper Loop Road
in the middle of the
and
night,
turned into an apartment. And then in the middle of the night, after the Historical Society acquired it, in the middle of the night, it was moved from the Upper Loop Road to the museum in Jordan Road.
What a sight to see! Al Camello, who was there taking pictures and video and whatnot. Yeah, it's really great.
Sight to see.
I know. So, when you see old pictures like this, and we have many of them at the Heritage Museum, or you see a movie made like this, it's hard to find out where everything is, like the real, like where the roads are. And so many stores have changed. Even in the 23 years that Tom and I have lived here, it's changed dramatically. Mm-hmm. And so I can't even imagine. There are some people here who have lived here for a really long time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a lot of the folks who've been here a long time, they'll recognize all the spots where like Drumbeat was filmed, right? And they'll be like, it was here, it was there, it was there. I'm not as familiar in that sense, and just from not having been here that long or at the time,
not even born yet.
No. But in fact, when that was filmed, my mom was 1.
Oh my gosh! Okay, this puts everything into perspective. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
And my dad was 5. Yeah.
When
that movie was filmed.
My
but
gosh.
But just for example, like the Modoc Indian stronghold. As I was watching that film, I could pick out at least 4 different locations that make up the stronghold, and they're all over Sedona. But movie magic makes them seem like they're all
one area.
Place. Yeah.
So did they also go to VOC? They went to the Village of Oak Creek?
No, not too much out there. The area where they focused a lot was like the Chapel District to Yavapai Vista and Bell Rock. So that area gets used an awful lot, but not really south of there. But a lot of
Yavapai Vista? Mm-hmm. That's on the way to the village.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's real rustic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the chapel area is where the Chapel of the Holy Cross is, which is quite rugged.
Yeah, and hadn't been built yet.
It had not been built yet.
So
unbelievable, unreal.
But
you just want to like stop the movie for a moment and just look at it.
Oh, totally. That's actually exactly what my wife said after we watched. She goes, "Okay, we need to watch it again, and we need to pause it on each one of these and figure out exactly where it is."
Yeah, because wouldn't it be cool if you were able to like transpose onto that picture where everything is today?
Yeah,
just to see like, wow, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. The things that had to be moved in order to make the town what it is today, and all that. God, incredible. Yeah, I mean, in terms of what needed to be moved, it was mostly manzanita and scrub and trees and bushes. Trees,
because it was. I mean,
lots of trees.
There was not a lot.
I know,
not a lot out there.
Unbelievable. Well, I know that the fall is coming up, and we've got some events. We're going to talk about that in September when you come back. Okay. It's always a pleasure to have you with us, and leave us with one thing about Drumbeat that we just have to know. Just one thing. Can you think of one thing? Like, was there anybody seen in the movie where it shouldn't have been, or something in the wrong place, or like nothing like that, right?
Man, no, you stumped me. I'm sure close observers of anything will see that stuff.
Right?
It's not like often that they do like
a
Game of Thrones thing where like they leave the Starbucks cup right on the table. That's a good one. I'm not aware of anything like that in this film, like any anachronistic stuff.
See, now you're going to have to go back and watch it.
But it is, it is kind of funny
something.
too to see them like acting like they're always trying to watch the actors at that time period. They're always trying not to emote because they're trying not to like wrinkle their face and that kind of thing. And so like it almost Botox wasn't invented, right? But like it's almost like they're all chock full of Botox. And,
That's so funny.
It opens with Alan Ladd going to the White House to meet with President Ulysses S. Grant. And they've painted wrinkles on Grant.
Oh my God.
Instead of just letting him.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just weird.
It's
that's
kind of a
just
weird makeup thing. So there you go. Maybe that's your parting thing.
That is.
And it's a horror show for your listeners to be like, oh gosh, I don't want to picture that.
Right? I want to see it now just for that. That's what I want to do. All right. Well, thank you, Nate, for being with me. And thank you for being with us. We're going to see you next month in September. Can't wait to hear the stories that we've got coming up and all the events and everything happening at the Sedona Heritage Museum. If you want to visit, make sure, you can go to their website, sedonamuseum.org. Thank you, Nate. We'll be right back.
You can taste it in every bite. For over 30 years, Chef Lisa Dahl has redefined what it means to dine in Sedona, serving soulful, handcrafted cuisine inspired by love, artistry, and community. From the wood-fired kitchens of Mariposa to the couture flair of Butterfly Burger, every experience is elevated, every ingredient intentional. To learn more about Lisa Dahl and the Dahl restaurants, please visit cheflisadahl.com.
Need a clean car fast? Come to Quicker Cleaner Car Wash. We'll have you sparkling and back on the road in just minutes. Whether you're after a quick shine or a deep clean, you'll get top quality service, eco-friendly soaps, and smiles all around. Drive up, shine up, and feel good, all without slowing down your day. And look like a star in your car. Located in West Sedona on Highway 89A. For more information, visit quickercleanercarwash.com.
Here's more of Sedona's Backstage Pass with Shondra, presented by the Dahl Group.
Thank you for staying with me. Oh, okay. I'm going to give the intro of all intros because my next guest is truly a Renaissance man. Just let me tell you a little bit about him. Okay. He's been an actor. He is a chef. He is a speaker, an instructor. He's part of the car club. Are you already guessing who this might be? You probably read the description, so you already know. But let me just say one thing. He is known here in Sedona for his great photography, for his portraits. Gary Glenn, thank you for being here with me. It's such a pleasure to have you here in the studio.
What a delight. Thank you, friend. That is an introduction.
You are amazing. You amaze me. I see you on Facebook, so I see the portraits because you got lots going on. We're going to talk about that. Then all of a sudden, I see a beautiful photograph of something that you made in your kitchen. I'm like, what? I mean, not only is everybody on Facebook salivating, but we're wondering, like, how do you know how to make all this? You're incredible. How did you become a chef? You're a photographer,
a chef,
and all these other things.
Saying I'm a chef is kind of an insult to all real chefs in the world. I'm a cook.
Okay, let me just tell you, everybody listening, no, he's just being humble because those pictures, it's like you did what? And look at that. Seriously, I think you are really actually a chef, Gary.
Well, it's nice of you to say that. I love food, and I love making food and sharing it with others, and that's what I do.
I love eating food. So, when you make that, just text me. I'll be right over. Really, seriously. I'm like, wow. So let's talk about all the things that you've got going on. We know you here in Sedona. We love your photography. You really do zero in on portraits. And boy, you have taken some great portraits. I love all of them. I know, wonderful.
Thank you. Well, the photography side of things has been something I've done my entire life. I started out as a radio announcer when I was a kid, all the way through high school and college, and then got involved in photography because this guy who was working at the radio station had some photographic equipment that he needed to sell. I bought it and suddenly became the sports photographer as well as the sports announcer and was doing a lot of that. And the photography grew to where I begged a job in a photo studio when I was in my early 20s, and it went on from there. And I've done it for many, many, many years.
Yes, I was going to say, when was that? Maybe 20 years ago? Not.
Oh my God!
No, you've put in so much time, but okay. Can I just say you can't see him, but he's just looking great, looking great. And so, what is it like when somebody takes your photograph? What's it like for you?
I love it. It's a scenario where I haven't had many photographs taken of me over the years, and it's amazing. I'm always behind the camera. I do a lot of event photography, so I should be handing my camera to somebody and say, here, take a snap of me, but I don't. But I love doing it because I kind of know how to pose and how to give an expression. So most of the photographs, even there aren't many that have been taken of me, are reasonably good.
Well, I have to tell you, I've taken a few pictures of you.
Yes, you have.
I know. You didn't know I was taking pictures of you. I was sneaky. I was at an event or something.
Candid photographer.
You were taking a picture.
Yeah.
I was taking a picture of you taking a picture.
Yes.
It was great fun. Great fun to send that to you. And I'm just curious, when somebody comes to you and you're going to take their photograph, how do you make them feel comfortable? Because some people don't like their photograph. They don't like anybody taking a picture of them, let alone a photographer.
Many people feel that way. The minute a camera gets pointed at them, they freeze or their eyes get wide or they don't relax. And therefore, many of the photographs they've had taken of themselves are not really very nice. The trick of how you get people to look good in photos is to spend a few minutes beforehand talking about things other than the photograph. And just let people recognize that they are here to relax and to share something with other people. And if you talk about who they are, what they do, what their kids are, what their dog's name is, and then sit down and start photographing them, they end up becoming a lot more relaxed. Mm-hmm. So it's not a technical exercise. It's more of a social exercise.
Right. Because some people feel having their photograph taken is like going to the dentist. Seriously.
Exactly.
They think
people
of it as
say
that
to me
painful.
all the time, I take the worst pictures. And I say, well, I'm taking these, so let's relax and let me take them instead of you taking them. We're going to make the best photograph you've ever seen of yourself in your life. And that's my goal, is to take a picture to where these people who are sitting for a session say, that is the best picture I've ever seen.
Right. And it doesn't have to be somebody who is not a celebrity to feel that way, because there's plenty of people who you would think would be normally like natural in front of a camera, but that's not always the case, is it?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And with a number of the projects that we've been doing with regard to making portraits, we have a very limited amount of time. And so we have to get to the point of relaxing very quickly. And that's, again, part of the social experience.
Right. It reminds me of what I do in a studio when I'm directing and the vocal talent. And you have somebody who comes in and they're a little nervous, especially kids. But even professionals, you need to be able to relax them, make them laugh, make them feel comfortable, and then you go in. And that's what you're telling us about what you do to make people really relaxed. Now, the photos that you've been taking on a website. First of all, I want to mention your website. For those of you listening, please go check out this gorgeous website. Gary Glenn, that's with 2 N's, you guys. GaryGlennPortraits.com. Okay? Glenn with 2 N's. And also, your work can be found on the Faces of Sedona and the VerdeValley.com. And you've got to tell us how this started. I know your business partner is Janelle Klein. And if you guys don't know Janelle Klein, she's an amazing individual. She's an Arizona realtor. She owns Global Luxury, I believe it is. She was a Coldwell banker. And you guys came up with this great idea.
Well, I was in the middle of doing a simple project for my website called the Sedona Influentials. And I had just started that project, and I'd photographed a couple of people. I photographed John Soderberg and Sandy Moriarty and Pat Schweiss. And Janelle was offered an opportunity to run a website, blog-style website, of Faces of Sedona. I was doing the Sedona Influentials, and so we got together and got to talking about the idea of working on this project together. Janelle does the interview, and probably takes a half an hour interview, and it is recorded and then transcribed and then edited to where it'll fit onto the website page really nicely and succinctly. And then I'm given 10 minutes to make this amazing photograph of the individual who is going to be included in the website. So, we've done, over the last few years, we've done 120, 130 Faces of Sedona, and put them on the website, The Faces of Sedona and theverdevalley.com. And it's amazing. There's a myriad of people who are, some of them very well known, others that are just not very known at all, but are very, very interesting.
Yes, I love that. I love that you're including people that folks don't know. That's super important. I just have to tell you, that picture that you took of Patrick Schweiss, wow. Wowed by that picture. So many. I mean, I could make you a list. Well, Tom and I were in there. Thank you for including us. So many friends and people that we've worked with, that I've worked with, Tom's worked with, and many people that everybody knows in the community. And I'm thrilled that you're also including people that people don't know in our community.
And a lot more to come. We don't see an end to the project because we've done, like, I can't remember exactly how many it is, but it'll say 120, 130 have already been included, but there are so many people that haven't been included yet. And of course, many people recommend another individual. It's somebody we don't even know. That's very, very interesting. And so it's been a fun project, but it's also been a bit of a diary of Sedona faces.
Love that. And you're meeting new people. What a great way to meet people.
All the time.
It's like, I just love it. I absolutely think it's wonderful. So remember, everybody, the Faces of Sedona and thevertivalley.com. And then you're very much in a community. You serve on the board of the Greater Sedona Chamber of Commerce. How long have you been on that board?
This is my third year.
Okay. Is that a full term? Is it 3 years?
2 years is the full term, and then I'm in my second term.
Okay. So you must love it. Great folks over there.
Very much so. The Chamber's doing so much for the community and is recognized as a real contributor to so much of our businesses. There are over 800 members of the Sedona Chamber of Commerce in a little town like ours. That's a huge number of people that participate. So, yes, I really enjoy being involved in that part of the community.
It's one of the first things we did was join the chamber, Tom and I, when we got here in 2002. And I love them. I absolutely love those people over there and what they stand for and what they do. And for those of you wondering, if you go to Visit Sedona, which is part of, I think it's visitsedona.com. It is part of the Greater Sedona Chamber of Commerce. They run that site, and you can find out about all the events that are going on. I think I mentioned that earlier in our show today. And you have, you're listed there. You've got some really good stuff there about what you do. So if you want to know about Gary, you can find him there as well. Yeah. Right? Visitsedona.com. Now, I have to ask you, you've got a big event coming up. You're very involved in this, and it's with a new museum called the Fine Art Museum of Sedona. Tell us all about this.
Well, the Fine Art Museum of Sedona is a Mary Bird-led project. Mary is an amazing individual in our community who is driven to really open this amazing museum. And so the evolution of this museum, which is fairly new, is going to be quite fascinating to see how it all develops. But I recommend that anybody who loves art should make sure that they go by and see the Fine Art Museum of Sedona, FAMOS, famous, the Fine Art Museum of Sedona, which is located in the Harkins complex. Right to the left side. If you're standing in front of the theater, it's to the left side of the Harkins complex. And it's a changing artists museum. And what's happened is, because Janelle is on the board of directors for Famous, they got to talking about her project of the Faces of and said, let's do a gallery exhibit of individuals who have already been photographed in the Faces of Sedona and the Verde Valley. So we are doing and getting ready to do a show. We've drawn names out of a hat. We couldn't include everybody because it would be 100 and some odd images. We decided 35 people would be included, and we put names in a hat and put all the names in a hat, and then drew the 35 individuals that we would make a print of for this display. Now, the show actually will be installed on the 27th, but it start on the 31st of July because it's not open on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It is open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the 31st of July is the first day of this show of these 35 Faces of images. And it's going to be there. We're not sure how long. It may be there longer than we know. I haven't decided, and I haven't heard from the board what the decision is as to how long the display will be up. But anybody can go by and have a look. And then we're inviting the 35 individuals who have been chosen by the drawing to come to an event. And so we're having a cocktail reception for them towards the end of that week of display. But it's a wonderful thing that is seen as a fundraiser for the famous Fine Art Museum of Sedona, and it gives people the opportunity to see something different, and it's these photographs. And they're 11 by 14-inch prints, printed on canvas, so they look very artsy.
Wow.
And there's 35 of them.
That's so
it's gonna
cool.
be
That's so
quite an
cool.
exhibit. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. And it is a fundraiser. So can, even though there are invites, people can bring people.
Oh,
Yes.
of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's open to the public,
Yes.
basically.
Well, the event that is the cocktail party is not open to the public.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
of the size of the gallery, we can't really have 100 people in the room.
I see.
But anybody can come by anytime during the week and, of course, participate and see it. And if they wish to make a donation as well, they can.
So let me ask you about Famous. What is this, the museum that we're talking about? Do they only use local artists? Or
That's a good question. So far, I believe that has been the objective. But we'll have to talk to Mary Bird, and she's going to be, of course, one of your interviews at some point
I
along
would
the
certainly
way.
hope so. I
Yes.
love Mary. I think she's a powerhouse. Well, I'll tell you, she really is. She's a mover and a shaker here in Sedona.
Very.
I mean, seriously incredible. So now that's wonderful. And again, I know there is a website, and that website is fineartmuseumofsedona.org. And make sure that you go take a look at that. And if you've not seen the museum, stop by. It's right there by Harkins Theaters. Super easy to get to. The hours are a little interesting, because they're not open on, I think you said Monday and Tuesday. Is that correct?
They're open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right. That's when they're open. So they take a couple of days off, as you can understand. And they just got that storefront, I think, that just happened, a year ago, maybe?
Maybe even less.
Yeah. So go out and support them. That would be lovely. And say hi to Mary, because she's there sometimes, quite often. Mary Bird, wonderful person.
And say hi to Janelle Klein, who's really the one who is instrumental in the project of the Faces of and all these photographs. And so it's her commitment to make that display.
Fantastic. I know Janelle's gonna be on this show, I know for sure.
Yeah.
So now let's get back to you, Gary. I just have to find out, who was the most famous person you've taken a picture of? I gotta know.
You. Shondra and Tom.
Oh, yeah.
No, I
Thank you for that, but I'm sure there's someone really famous.
Over the years, my client base was not famous people, but over the years, Pat Boone was one of the people I photographed many, many, many years ago, and both Ava and Jaja Gabor in two separate sessions.
Darling.
And several members of the William Randolph Hearst family.
Oh, wow.
Were in those early days as well. That was for another display of an organization called the Freedom Foundation. So
goodness.
But that was fascinating. Traveled all over a lot of the United States making images of people who were part of the Freedom Foundation project. But that's been many, many years ago, so history.
Yes, there's some history there. What was the most difficult? Do you remember? You don't have to name names. I don't want to get anyone in trouble, But I'm just saying, was it a celebrity that had a hard time?
No, it would not at all. It would be and I will use a different name, the Schmidlap family.
Okay.
Which I'm not going to use anybody that's genuinely real.
Yeah.
But they had 3 kids under the age of 5. So a family portrait made of this family group. Unfortunately, the kids were running around like Comanche Indians during the whole session, and it was just beyond my belief of what was going to happen. In the end, we got one good image of everybody looking in the right direction.
Oh, my gosh.
But that was the hardest portrait I ever made.
Did you want to scream?
Yes.
Yes, but did you scream
No,
after that?
no,
You
no,
didn't.
I
You didn't get in your car and
I
just
went
go,
out and kicked a tree.
Is that what you did? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, poor tree. That's funny. What was the most entertaining time that you ever took a picture?
Most entertaining time would have to be during the Sedona International Film Festival.
Okay.
I attend the majority of the party events at the end of the day or the evening of each day of the festival. And so that's probably the most fun, going along to the Sedona Sedona International Film Festival parties. That's how I got here. I came to the United States. I was living in Australia.
Australia.
I lived in Australia for almost 40 years.
Well, you weren't born there, right?
No, I'm an American. I was born in Wyoming.
Oh, my gosh.
But
how'd you get to Australia?
Well, I again, as a photographer, I was working as a consultant to professional photographers all over the United States, helping them to build their businesses and to take better photographs. And a professional processing lab from Australia found out about what I was doing and came and did a big interview, and they offered me the opportunity to come to Australia and work with their clients.
Wow.
And so I worked with hundreds of photographers across Australia for 40 years. But then I also then expanded out of just photography and did professional seminars and speaking and keynotes in all sorts of industries, spinning out of the photography world and working in many banking, finance, retail.
My goodness.
Lots of different things. So there was amazing, fascinating skills that were developed over those years. And then along the way of doing photography at the same time, I got interested in filmmaking. So I made a film and submitted it to the Sedona International Film Festival. It was accepted. This is 12 years ago.
Wow.
And
fantastic.
And I came to represent the film. So that's how I ended up in America. And during that event, I met a woman. And unfortunately, that changed, or fortunately, that spun my life completely around. And I moved from Australia. I gave up everything I did in Australia and came here. And that was...
My goodness, you were bit by the red rock bug.
I was, absolutely.
That was it. You were ours after
absolutely.
that. And so did you move here right away?
No, I met this woman and we dated from Australia for a couple of years.
That's a very long distance relationship. Long distance relationship.
I came to Sedona almost every month for about a week. For 2 years.
Oh, every month?
Yeah, so big travel, a lot of frequent flyer miles.
I was going to say, that's pretty costly.
Well,
you really love this woman.
But life is short.
Yeah, there you go.
One must have these experiences.
Yes, it's so true, so true. Well, we're happy to have you here.
Well,
oh, my gosh. I mean, sorry, Australia. Your loss.
But the film festival parties have to be the most fun because they're definitely festive and there are many of them. And everybody's there for one wonderful reason, and that's film.
Have you ever had a heart-wrenching photograph session? I mean, have you ever had anything like that, photography session, where it just was really sad? Anything like that? Because I know photographers see everything, don't they?
Not really, no. Not during the session, but there's been a number of situations where the person that we made a beautiful photograph of has decided to cross the rainbow.
Yeah.
And we, of course, had then a beautiful photograph to be able to display at their ceremony.
Yeah.
And that was it. But that's that's joyful as well as heart-wrenching.
It is, because you had this beautiful, definitely beautiful photography. One more thing, because we have run out of time. Can you believe it? It goes by incredibly fast. It's like a snap of a finger. I know you're involved with a car club here in Sedona. Mm-hmm. Just briefly, where do you guys meet? And if I want to become a part of the car club, how do I do it?
You have to be interested in cars.
Oh, that's a given.
You don't have to have an amazing car. You don't have to have an antique car. You just have to have an interest in automobilia. And we meet every month on the second Tuesday of every month at the Sedona Public Library.
Beautiful.
And it is a wonderful club that we get, and there's like 120 members in this little town of Sedona.
Fantastic.
There's like 120 members of the Sedona Car Club. So if anybody's interested, check out the website, sedonacarclub.com. And come and see us at one of our meetings on the first Tuesdays.
Wonderful.
Second Tuesdays of each month.
And you definitely want to see Gary Glenn's photography. He's fantastic. Remember, GaryGlennPortraits.com. Glenn is with 2 N's. GaryGlennPortraits.com. The Faces of Sedona and the Verde Valley.com. And, of course, famous, the Fine Art Museum of Sedona.org. August 10th. Make sure you take a look at the show before that, before August 10th, starting on July 31st. Thank you, Gary, for being here so much. It was my pleasure to have you as my guest.
A pleasure for me as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And you guys stay with me, okay?
You've explored the trails, stood in awe of the red rocks. Now, discover how Sedona became Sedona. The Sedona Heritage Museum tells the story of Red Rock country, from ancient cultures to today's vibrant community. It's interactive, family-friendly, and open year-round, indoors and out. Sedona Heritage Museum, preserving and sharing the soul of Red Rock country. Plan your visit at sedonamuseum.org or call 928-282-7038.
Take a deep breath, then let it go. At Sedona's New Day Spa, your escape begins the moment you arrive. Enjoy luxurious massages, rejuvenating facials, and native-inspired body treatments. Every moment is designed to restore balance and renew your spirit. Voted Sedona's Best Day Spa, this is more than self-care. It's your sanctuary. Book your experience today at SedonaNewDaySpa.com or call 928-282-7502.
When your project demands precision, experience, and trust, Turn to Sefton Engineering Consultants. From expert civil engineering to construction management, we deliver real-world solutions that stand the test of time. With over 30 years in the business, Luke Sefton's team is committed to getting your project done right, on time, and on budget. Sefton Engineering Consultants. Reliable, experienced, personal. Learn more at SeftonEngineeringConsultants.com.
Here's more of Sedona's Backstage Pass with Shondra, presented by the Doll Group.
Oh, wow. What fun today, right? I'm just so happy to have had these wonderful guests on today. Do you hear this? You know what it is. It's time for my shameless Shondra spot. For those of you who have seen Dev Ross's and my new musical, The Dead Quilters Society, we have a big announcement. Here it is. We're adding 25 minutes more to our show. That's right. There will be an intermission. Why? Because we actually had some producers come and see the show when we did it last at the Old Town Center for the Arts, which was back in, I want to say, April of this year. And this show was actually debuted at the Sedona Heritage Museum in the Apple Shed. Well, we're going back there. That's my big announcement. That's the second part of it, is we're adding 25 minutes more to our show. Dev's going to be writing more ensemble scenes for us, and I will be composing at least 2 more songs, so that's exciting. And we are also going to launch our brand new website. I don't want to tell you what it is yet because it's not quite ready, so you're going to keep posted on that. I'll keep you posted here for sure. And in the meantime, I want you to mark your calendars because our new expanded version of the Dead Quilter Society show is returning back to the Sedona Heritage Museum in the Apple Shed this November 7th, 8th, and 9th. For tickets and information, you can visit sedonamuseum.org. We'll see you there. Thank you again for being here with me on this beautiful Saturday. Remember, you can always come back every Saturday at 10 a.m., hear all these behind-the-scenes stories here on Sedona's Backstage Pass, and you can find all the shows that have already been recorded on mellowmountainradio.com. You can listen live, of course, on Saturdays at 10 a.m. on 106.5, that's KAZM, Mellow Mountain Radio, and later you'll find them on Apple Podcasts, and I'm happy to report on Spotify very soon. I want to thank my sponsors, Sedona Heritage Museum, Sefton Engineering, Quicker, Cleaner Car Wash, better known as Cleaner, Quicker Car Wash, Sedona New Day Spa, and my presenting sponsor, the Doll Group. And I want to thank my guest this week, Nate Meyers, the Executive Director of the Sedona Heritage Museum, and the most talented photographer, Renaissance man, Gary Glenn. Thank you guys for being on. I also want to thank my engineer, my producer, Ryan Thompson, who I am waving at right now, and the station owner, Chuck Helstein. You guys rock. Next week, I don't even want to tease it. You've got to show up, all right? This is just really the coolest show ever. They're all fun. Anyway, I am just definitely going to see you, or you'll hear me next Saturday. Remember to wear your VIP pass and see you Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on Mellow Mountain Radio.